Morning, Kev.
Morning.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I was sore last night, but today I feel better.
Awesome.
At least for the next hour.
We're 1,500 miles in. How you doing? How's the bike doing?
The bike's doing fine. I haven't had any problems at all. I use the phone as a GPS and music, and the Cena headset's working great. So, I mean, really, it's been a pretty effortless trip for the most part, other than sitting on the bike for hours and hours and hours.
Welcome to BWOM, my friend. Welcome to BWOM.
Today we're going to...
Hey, what was that red strip on your wrist?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was the one funny thing. So gauntlet gloves look like they match up with your sleeves of your jacket when you're holding your jacket down and going, yeah.
No, the short gloves.
But, oh yeah, the short gloves. They look like they match up with your jacket when you're hanging your arms down. When you put them on the bike, they don't exactly. So I've got some winter gauntlet gloves that I brought in case it was cold, and I wore those for a day, but they're really stiff and pretty uncomfortable. So I got a fix for it. So we'll see the fix a little bit later, I'm sure. Today we are headed to Jackson as the goal. But on the way, we're going to stop at the Ames Brothers Pyramid. So once we get there, we'll explain a little bit about it, talk about it, and show you something neat that most people probably haven't even thought about. So anyway, we'll see you on the road. So like I said before, I planned on having most of the interesting stuff on the second half of the trip. But one of the things that fell before Jackson Hole and I thought was interesting was the Ames Brothers Pyramid. Basically, this was about 30 miles outside of Cheyenne, and once you got off the highway, it was about 2.5 miles down this rutty gravel road. But it was on the way to Jackson Hole, so we stopped. The Ames Brothers, from what I understand, are credited with connecting the East and the West by way of the Union Pacific Railroad. And though there were some sordid details that I read about, we'll just say that the monument is a dedication to their expansion of the railroad. It was pretty impressive. It was very tall and a lot bigger and cooler than I thought it would be. But at any rate, it was definitely something to see, and if you happen to get out there, you should check it out. As Tracy's coming up the road, I'll just explain to you what happened with the gloves. So I said before that the shorty gloves were causing me to have these sunburn strips on my wrist. What I ended up doing as a solution was running to Walmart, grabbing a couple of Wilson tennis wristbands, and I just throw those on before the gloves every time, and it was a cheap fix and an easy one, and it worked out. Hey, love my hair. Just wanted to take you to our first point of interest for the video, which is not my hair. It's the Ames Brothers Pyramid. Right there. Right there. Named after someone. Probably the Ames Brothers. And it's big. We left the Ames Brothers Pyramid, and the goal was to get to Jackson Hole. The car didn't have to have any gas stops, really, so it took off, and we didn't see them again until Jackson. But we got on the highway and went from gas stop to gas stop getting there, and did a little interviews along the way. And thankfully, there weren't really any issues that came up. It was a pretty leisurely day, and not too bad a ride, really. So we're going to join everyone in the first gas stop, and then video-wise, we're just going to hit another gas stop right after that. Update, right now we're at a Chevron station about, I think, 140-ish miles out of Jackson. So we're stopping a little bit more frequently just to make sure that we don't run out of gas, or mainly that I don't run out of gas. But it's going well. We're not really that tired, which is surprising. And we'll talk to you when we get to Jackson, probably. Won't be long. Okay, so here's the
last gas stop of the day. We had to stop because as soon as we got gas, it started hailing.
So where are we at, Trace? We are in Pinedale Lightning. We stopped for gas, and after we gassed up and we were about to start loading up, it came a hailstorm. So it was a small one, so we decided to ride it out. We got cookies, and we're hanging out for a little bit, and we're just gonna chill. However, bridges in front of us, so we found out that there's a couple sections of road that are being worked on, so they're dirt. So hopefully there's some gravel down, or else it's gonna be mud, and that's gonna suck. So
yep.
Stay tuned.
So like I said, this was a cool little shop, and we were kind of stuck there until the hail stopped. And once it did, we got back on the road, and we were headed to our final destination for the day, which was Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We were both really excited, but we did get word from Bridget that there was construction pockets on the way that basically amounted to the road being dug out, and so you had to come off the road into some dirt and then ride on that for a little while up to return back into pavement. So we were a little concerned that that was going to be just mud, but ended up not being quite as bad as we thought. The scenery out there was really unbelievable. Everybody who talks about Wyoming says that it's just incredible, but I'll tell you, I never realized it until I got there. It was just unbelievable. I thought I would bring you another set of old footage. This was just some old raw video from Maxie's, which is a motorcycle shop in Oklahoma. And it's just some stuff Billy and I filmed, and then at the end, a little quick shot of our garage at the time. So, hope you enjoy.
Who can I help here?
This is the new FZR 600 90. You serious?
Yeah, I said it.
LA line 2, Jim, line 1, Jim, line 1.
This is the kind of seat it has, isn't it?
What, man?
This is the kind of seat it has almost.
Hey, that's actually intentional. Huh?
And the Honda.
Nice, man. Oh, dude. Oh. Double headlight. Double headlight. Single headlight. Double headlight. Okay, now we're in the garage where our bikes first captured on film, the FZR, the GSXR, and the CBR.
So there's that muddy construction that I was talking about. While I'm riding along though, a quick story. In that very last part you can see our bikes in the garage, and I talked a lot about how Tracy and Billy filmed this while I was in the Army. This was later on. A couple months after I came back from the military, Billy and Tracy and I got a townhouse together. We ended up living there for a couple of years, and it was a really good way for us to kind of figure out who we were and our course in life. I got really into road racing and being at a track and participating in a lot of that stuff. Tracy got into drag racing, was doing it almost every Friday, but Billy really hadn't found his niche yet. It wasn't a few years later probably that he started getting into the touring, when Tracy, who had been on a couple of long trips, decided to start taking a couple of pictures of him with a state sign or two, just for the fun of it. At least that's how I remember it. Well, anyway, we finally get into Jackson, and what a cool town. The main town square had some arches made from deer antlers that no doubt were found in the woods, I assume, and I was filled with both an excitement to be there and this serenity about finally being in this town. I was looking forward to some time relaxing and just some time thinking about Billy and kind of how much we missed him.